Hey, y'all. My apologies for getting cut off last time. I think I got a phone call or something. So I'll actually start a little bit ahead of where I got cut off just so that we can get our context back. So let's dive in. If you don't clearly communicate your vision of the road ahead, no one will want to travel with you. Joy then advised George on a plan of action. She had been through this drill before, and it had worked wonders with everyone who had ever come on her bus. It even worked before they had a fancy website and had to make the tickets by hand. But they were equipped, and now George would be too. She told him how he should email an e-bus ticket without a message to his boss and his team at work. That would get them curious, she told him. She took him step by step and explained how to meet individually with each person, share his vision for the product launch, and give each person a paper bus ticket printed from www.theenergybus.com. Then she advised him to conclude with, now that you know where my bus is going and you are clear about my vision for the road ahead, if you are ready to get on my bus, then return this ticket with your name on it to my office Monday morning by 9 a.m. George was looking forward to making this happen. Timing couldn't be better since the launch of the NRG 2000 was a week from today. And on Monday, he would know who was on his bus and who wasn't. Plus, the weekend would give everyone time to prepare for the upcoming big week. The energy is shifting, he thought. Oh, and one more thing, Joy said as the bus reached George's office building. Make sure you do a separate e-bus ticket for your wife, too, and tell her your vision for yourself, your marriage, and your family. She needs to know where you want to go, George. Don't forget that. I won't, George replied. I'll do just that. For the first time, he was thankful that his car had had a flat tire. Maybe everything does happen for a reason, he thought. Maybe, for the first time in a long while, luck is smiling on me. And maybe, just maybe, this means my luck and situation are about to improve. Chapter 15, A Very Long Weekend. While George was pacing around his bedroom, he noticed a Time magazine sitting on his nightstand with Abraham Lincoln on the cover. George was fascinated with the life and presidency of Abraham Lincoln. He marveled that this man who was said to suffer from depression was able to overcome several election defeats, 2 bankruptcies, a nervous breakdown, and the death of his fiancée before becoming president of the United States. A seeming failure at the age of 51, he had summoned the courage and strength that unified our country and changed the course of history. George couldn't help but imagine what it must have been like in the past for Lincoln to wait and wait and wait for the Civil War battle reports to come in, not knowing if his country was one step closer to unification or destruction. Yet, now, as George spent time with his family and did chores around the house, he had a small sense of what it was like to wait and have your fate unfold before you. As time inched slowly by, he continually wondered who was going to be on his bus and who would stay off it. He wondered if he had the strength and courage to overcome his own small civil war at work. And he wondered if he was headed toward victory or defeat. He had handed out the bus tickets on Friday, and he felt great about his meetings, but Monday would be the telling point. He walked over to his bookshelf, pulled out his favorite Abraham Lincoln book, and randomly flipped through it, only to find a quote that jumped out at him and would bring him a new-found resolve. I am not bound to win. I am bound to be true. I am not bound to succeed, but I am bound to live up to the light that I have. Abraham Lincoln, 16th President of the United States of America. Chapter 16, Who's on the Bus? It was Monday, and this Monday was very different from last Monday. Instead of dread, George felt a nervous excitement. He had taken an earlier bus to work today, so he could be in his office in time to receive the bus tickets from his new passengers. He greeted each person as they walked one by one into his office, handed in their tickets, and told him they were on his bus. All of them except Michael, Jamie, and Jose. The 3 of them walked in together, and immediately George knew something was up. He could tell they were nervous and that they weren't holding bus tickets. I bet they are too scared to come in alone, so they decided to pack together like a bunch of wolves, he thought. We think your bus is going to crash, and we don't want to be on it when it does, Michael bluntly told him. We need this job, Jamie said nervously. Who's we? George asked. All of us, they said in unison as they looked around at each other. Your bus is going to go up in flames, Michael said. The words hit George like a dagger in the heart. Michael and Jamie always had given him problems, and he expected they wouldn't get on his bus. But Jose was a big surprise. Jose had always worked hard for him, and the biggest surprise of all was that Jose chose to stay off the bus while Larry and Tom, the two biggest problems of all, handed in their tickets and decided to get on. As the three wolves stood there, George didn't know what else to say. He was in shock. Sure, he had contemplated that there might be people who wouldn't get on his bus, but he never thought that he would do what he would do if this actually happened. Now it was staring him right in the face, and he felt lost. Thank you, is all George said as they walked out of his office, and he slumped into his chair. Thinking about his team dynamics, he felt more hopeless than ever. Two people he thought would surely stay off his bus wanted to be on it, and the one person he had thought would be his first passenger said no. Needless to say, the day did not go well. Larry and Tom continued causing problems by fighting with each other and the rest of the team. They complained about everything and bashed other people's ideas while offering no solutions of their own. George tried to get everyone on the same page, but he was severely distracted by the three wolves who did not want to get on his bus. He didn't know what he should do with them, so he just let them sit there passively at the meetings as they let everyone else know how they felt by rolling their condescending eyes at each other. The energy felt horrible, and so did George. They had 4 days until the launch, and his bus was stalled. Until next time.